So this is a monumental energy update. Like, I don't think I've ever done this one this big before. Okay, see where I'm standing. Can you get the idea of this, how big this tree is? And as I look down here, I have to make sure I don't fall off. You can see here, this is my big oak tree that I have always done videos from. I don't know how you can see how just like, I don't think you can actually get an idea of how big this tree is and what's happened here. Now, to those that know, to those that don't, this is most definitely my avatar tree. Heartbroken is not the word as to how massive and powerful and majestic that this tree ancestor was. Well, still is actually, because they're still standing. There's a story here. Now this here is the other half of the tree. It was like in a fork. And this tree here is now, it was divine masculine and it was divine feminine. And the two were together. And the part that fell is the divine masculine side, which was probably a little bit heavy, maybe a little bit in the shadow, I don't know. But this tree, me and this tree go back a long way. And I'm going to explain to you, I have to bear with me here, so I really am being out in the jungle here, sharing with you, so I don't fall off this tree, because it's so big, okay? But this tree is like my avatar tree. It is my avatar tree. Underneath here, there are so many like offerings of animals and, you know, owls, squirrels, all of this medicine that had been shared with me over the years. When I rented this house 5 years ago, I didn't even look at the house. I just saw this massive oak tree and I was like, I'll take it. And I didn't even look at the house, because it was this tree that called me. And it was about the time that I started kind of going to Egypt and on the prospect of, you know, starting my own group. So we all know the history of my journey with that, okay? Really trying hard not to fall off this tree. So anyway, this is Friday, rewind to Friday morning. Sorry, it's really hard for me to see where to look because I'm not used to doing my phone sideways. So Friday morning came along, huge crack kaboom. This massive tree split. I never thought that would happen as long as I was living here. This tree's like hundreds of years old. Now this is my tree. This is the tree that communicates with me when I'm in Egypt. This is the tree that communicates with me when I'm in Avalon. Wherever I travel, it's a massive part of everything. I've helped people pass on through this tree. This tree, you can't see it. It's got like a womb in the trunk. So it's very sort of like, it's very powerfully feminine. And here's the funny thing. My friend said to me, like 2 months ago, my husband knocked in the center of this womb shape in the tree, and he said this part is rotten. And my friend went, interesting, rotten womb. And I was like, oh, that is so significant. So 5 years ago, I started giving offerings to this tree. Very like, we've sat in mushroom ceremonies, cacao ceremonies, all sorts of ceremonies, laughter, tears, whatever. And you know, this tree was my avatar tree. And then we come to this very powerful time in humanity, which is just like so like the timelines have split. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. So is my tree. The timeline has indeed split. It has now come to pass. It's done. Now the grief that I am going through since this beautiful being has left my space in this form, teaching me so many lessons about my relationship to death. And how really intense this is. I mean, I've just sat now and done drumming after drumming after drumming. I can't stop crying. I thought it was okay. I'm still mourning the death. This happened on Friday morning. Mourning the death of this tree. But here's the funny thing, in its physical form, because behind me, the divine feminine still stands. So it's not like we had to take the whole tree out. And now, like I look around the garden, there's such a powerful presence of elemental energy. It's almost like that elemental energy comes out and kind of like fixes the tree and gets it right, because you know there's a whole world, isn't there, beyond our one, and I can feel it really powerfully. But there's also an energy of celebration. Even the dog doesn't know what to do with himself. He's never had so many sticks in all his life, so he's living his best life. He's having such a good time. And I wasn't, but now I've come and climbed on this tree for the first time because I couldn't bring myself to do it before. I mean, it covers my whole garden and it's just massive. And now I'm looking at the beauty, at the chaos, because I'm like, wow. I mean, this tree is so big. I could go and climb on there and go and do a meditation over there. There's a little cubbyhole over there and go and get into and drum. And now all of a sudden I don't want the tree fellas to come and take it away, because I'm like, kind of like it like this. So this new layout is like working for me. But there is still a lot of deep trauma. Now, this tree split. I mean, like, I will try and put pictures up to try and just give you the idea of how massive this tree was. So it sat like that. It was like two trees. Look at all these beautiful white butterflies around me. It's like a scene out of, it literally is a scene out of Avatar. So it was like this, okay? And this tree split and it fell away. Now, my thinking was like, wow. As soon as it fell, my husband went, wow, look at the amount of light that's in the garden. Look how much light is coming in. How symbolic is that? Then all of a sudden, as the tree fell, we could see the mountains behind the tree, which we've never been able to see before. And it was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, there was just this lifting of energy, yet there was chaos going on. There was so much going on when this tree fell. So many different dimensions were popping at the same time. And I was actually thinking about this tree, like, God, what was the pressure happening in the day before? I was just like, geez, I had no idea. It didn't even look like it was going to fall down. But imagine the pulling apart, like the intensity of this tree trying to hold up the other side of itself and going, I'm holding on. Oh my God, I can't hold it anymore. And then all of a sudden just came undone. And then all of a sudden there's this massive change everywhere. Visually in the garden, there's more light in the garden. Energetically, just like the purging of letting go, death, coming into rebirth. And then I just thought to myself, but that's us. We've been holding on to this old timeline and our old selves. We've been fighting so hard. Gotta hold on, gotta keep it together. Have to be strong. And then all of a sudden it just, when you can't take any more and you're literally, it slips through your hand and you let go and you're like, oh my God, you get pushed to the brink, to the extreme where you can't hold any more, which a lot of us have been recently. And then that's when the magic happens. And then the light, the love, the healing comes online. So now what are we talking about here? We're talking about that, and we're talking about the timeline split. Yes, it's happened. The 19th today is a very powerful energy day. I haven't quite worked out what for yet, but it's a big energy day, a powerful energy day. Tomorrow, the 20th of November, is Sekhmet's purification day. It's officially Sekhmet's day tomorrow. Purifying. I mean, go figure, right? So it's her day tomorrow. So we are moving into a brand new, come January, we're all in it. Massive surge forward for humanity, massive surge forward for each and every one of us individually. And I was told the day before, I had a reading with a friend of mine, a day before Melchizedek was channeled to me, and he basically said, you need to find your tree, find peace, and the answers will come. Well, shit, I didn't expect my tree to flip and fall down. And had I been meditating down there, I would have died. Thanks, Melchizedek. But no, it was very just profound, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Symbolic in the messages. And that's what the message was brought. It said, come January, and which is only around the corner, everything's changed. You have to be ready, prepare for that moment. Because we've got to go through all this first. And now we are grieving, because even the old timeline is not something we want to hold on to. It's not a vibe. It's not what we want to do. There is still a lot of grief in there. Now, what is so interesting is before this incident happened, which, by the way, I feel like I've lost a close family member. Well, I have. I've grieved it. I haven't had a lot of people die around me. It's like, I'm just one of those people that just hasn't experienced that a lot. I've had a lot of spiritual deaths around me, but nothing like physical. Maybe one or two, but nothing physical. So this to me is just like, like trying to process this grief. It's hard. And then one side of me is going, well, it's just a tree. And then the other side of me, my energy and my everything is going, no, it wasn't. That was the root system to all that there was. This has taught me so much. And the more I sit on this tree, the more of the tree medicine just keeps unpacking. And I've also learned that, nothing is forever, right? Nothing is forever. So why hold on? Just allow the beauty of the process, because death is actually quite beautiful. Because looking at what I'm looking at now, I mean, there's butterflies all around. There's all of these branches to play with. Like I say, even the squirrels are having a gas. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, there's so much beauty to be had from something that is shifted monumentally. So we've just got to let go. And then the biggest thing as well is knowing that this tree is now within me. I think this is a huge initiation in tree magic for those of you that connect with that. Did you know that the oak tree is deeply connected to goddess Hathor? To goddess Hathor, I only learned that the other day, and I'm about to move into the Hathor section of the Heka codes of my group very shortly. So it's trust. It's all about trust, isn't it? You know, it's all about trust. But yeah, this has taught me many, many, many things. And I think the real gift of this is to know when you do let go, and you just let it all fall, and you let it split in two, and you let it just come crashing down. It's like there's a lot that comes from that. There's a lot that comes from that. So I think now, like, you know, what I'm going to be experiencing is really moving through the grieving process of my best friend, who is no longer in the form that I am so used to. And now it's a case of like allowing myself to move into the new way of how it's all going to look. Now, the reason I said that, kind of like chuck that into the mix, is because that refers to the timelines. You can refer to this tree as the timelines. That's how it's always looked to me. So like, you know what I mean? In a way, we want change, but we don't want change. Yeah, we want change, but don't change my tree. Okay? But then the tree changed. Oh my God, so much trauma, so much tears. Oh my God, grief. And then we're just like, but we don't want this. We want change. So this is going to relate very much as to how we move into the new timeline. So it's to be expected that you're going to feel some elements of sadness, of grief, of depression, of frustration, of resistance. Any of the shadow stuff that's coming up right now, it's because this has just shown us this is exactly what's happening. I have been with this tree for 5 years. I've lived on this property for 5 years. The only reason I didn't leave is because the landlady wanted to cut the tree down and build another property. And I was just like, I can't go, I can't leave. So now this tree has released me from this property because I want to live in my own house. This is a rented property. So do you see what I'm saying? There's a completion of cycles, massive completion of cycles. I've seen number 7s all over the place, like everywhere. And yeah, completion of cycles. So this is massive. It's not just massive, it's what we've been waiting for. I'm going to swear now, it's fucking huge, because it basically warrants an F-bomb. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to share this with you. I've been trying to do this video, but I've just been in my own grief process, and maybe I'll come out here and hop on and do another video, because there's a lot of tree wisdom and tree magic and teachings coming out of this place right now. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, thank you for receiving, and you know, I hope that this brings you many teachings as well, because I know there's a lot of us that have big oaks in their garden. Actually, I've now realized from speaking to a lot of people. So anyway, oh God, you see, I went to grab onto something and nearly fell off backwards. Yes, that would have been the funniest video ever. Can you imagine? Me going to grab something, and then all of a sudden you see my Birkenstocks fly over my head, and then I'm like, I'm out, I'm done. Marie's left the building. Anyway, there's the laughter. I hope this has turned into a little bit of a comedy 2 seconds. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll post again once I can catch a breath and once I've finished drumming. Love y'all. Peace.